Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. Today we are going to talk through the business model of LinkedIn. I am super excited to have this discussion and I would love to read what you guys are taking away from this video as well. Please write your 3 key takeaways from the discussion in the comments box and I would love to read through them. Let's jump right into the discussion. There are 3 things that I want to talk through. Number 1, why was LinkedIn acquired by Microsoft in 2016? Number 2, what are the primary revenue streams for LinkedIn? Number 3, what are the challenges and who are its competitors? We'll also finally touch about what are some of the futuristic things that LinkedIn can do going forward. Okay. Now you might ask me, hey, what's the big deal about LinkedIn, right? Let me throw some facts and figures at you. Number 1, the revenues are growing at 25% year over year. Number 2, the subscriber count itself is massive. There are 750 million plus people on LinkedIn today. All right, that's a huge number. If you combine these 2 things, it's super powerful. Let me also tell you one other interesting thing, right? There is no other social media platform at this scale which is able to get revenues from the users of the platform itself, right? LinkedIn is the only platform where users are ready to pay for its services. You use social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, right? Snapchat, Twitter. None of these platforms are able to charge the customers, but LinkedIn users are happy to pay the premium subscription services to LinkedIn, right? So that's a very unique feature about LinkedIn itself. Okay, so let's jump right away into our first part, that is, hey, why Microsoft acquired LinkedIn in the first place? If we take a look at Microsoft products, right? The first one is Office Dynamics. The second one is Office 365. The third one is the entire suite of Outlook, Excel, PowerPoint, a bunch of other things too. What does it tell you? Microsoft is leading in the professional work tool space, right? If you add to that the professional profile of every individual, it's a powerful combination. For example, if you are working on a blockchain project and if you are typing your emails in Outlook, hey, I'm having this particular problem in the blockchain space, can you help me, to your colleague? If Microsoft can intelligently integrate the Outlook and LinkedIn platforms, which by the way it is already doing, right? You get all your LinkedIn posts, feed, the proposed courses, everything around blockchain, right? That is super powerful. And it is also beneficial for the customer like you and I, right? If you think about another use case, right? Hey, you are using Excel, but you are struggling. You are using PowerPoint, but you are struggling. Probably there is a pop-up on LinkedIn saying that, hey, this is a course on LinkedIn that you can recommend. So the opportunities for integration are pretty high. And that is one of the primary reasons why Microsoft has brought LinkedIn. And also, as you can see, this entire social network that LinkedIn has created among the professionals is one of its kind. So Microsoft, without any previous entry into the social media space, has got the entire social network where it is already having a strong hold. So it is a match made in heaven, right? Now, why is it important for you? If you are a fresher, if you are a young professional, just joining workforce, right? People might start looking at your LinkedIn profile through your Outlook emails itself. So it is very important for you to actually maintain a good LinkedIn profile. The sooner you start, the better it is. You can express your views on certain academic issues, certain industry areas on LinkedIn, and that could easily reflect into your professional life too. So you maintaining an active LinkedIn network and an active LinkedIn profile is not only beneficial for you going forward in your job search, but it actively plays an important role in your current work environment as well. Okay, so please don't get into some kind of nasty comments or any of that negative stuff on LinkedIn. It is going to unnecessarily create a bad impression about you in the workplace. So that's about the integration of Microsoft with LinkedIn. Now, if we move into what are some of the revenue streams for LinkedIn itself. So let us start with the most obvious one, that is subscriptions, right? You and I are happy to pay for LinkedIn for premium subscription. At least there are numbers that are floating around which says that hey, 39% of the LinkedIn subscribers are premium members. Well, I don't know if that is such a high number, but still it indicates to us that, hey, folks are willing to pay for this kind of premium service. Number two, it is marketing. These days I am getting a lot of upgrade ads on my LinkedIn feed. You might be getting too, right? You might be getting from all kinds of edutech firms. This indicates that, hey, if there is a place for an organization to target, to bring awareness about its product, it is LinkedIn. And more so if it is a higher end product which is targeting professionals, which is targeting students, because there are close to 750 plus million of us on LinkedIn, right? So that is number two, which is LinkedIn marketing solutions. The third thing that I want to talk about is, of course, the hiring, right? LinkedIn jobs. LinkedIn actually started its revenue streams through LinkedIn hiring itself, right? It was not a traditional job portal, but folks could always find jobs on LinkedIn. An interesting tidbit over here is that, hey, folks did not create their LinkedIn profiles with the objective that, hey, they'll get a job immediately, but they created their LinkedIn profiles with the objective that, hey, they want to improve their personal brand itself. And that is what attracted employers towards the platform itself, right? So that's a super strong revenue stream for LinkedIn. Unfortunately, the revenue breakdown between these individual streams is not shared after Microsoft has acquired LinkedIn, but ultimately this has been the first bread and butter revenue stream for LinkedIn. Okay, moving on to the fourth one, that is LinkedIn learning, right? Hey, you hire somebody from LinkedIn, you are able to create awareness about a product on LinkedIn, and finally you want to actually train your employees through LinkedIn as well. And what's the best place? You hire somebody immediately, you send them 3 to 4 LinkedIn courses and say you get started. Or LinkedIn can rather do a better job, right? It can say that, hey, your new hire is already proficient in Excel and Microsoft PowerPoint, but probably they need some kind of training in SQL. So why don't you help them with these 3 or 4 courses, right? So that is the power of the platform, where it already knows what you know and it is telling you what are the gaps that you need to fill from your career point of view, right? That's number 4. That is LinkedIn learning. Number 5 is LinkedIn sales. Okay, you get these kind of ads, right? Hey, from Udemy, from an academy, telling you, please read through about our particular course. Now, if the same organization is looking forward to interact with a company, right? Let's say an academy or Udemy or Upgrad is trying to sell its courses to a large organization where 500 people can be trained on data science, right? It can easily do that through contacting the head of training in that particular company, right? And that is possible through LinkedIn, and you can actually use a personalized message, or you can use few of the LinkedIn tools that are available, which can help you target directly the decision makers in these companies. So just to summarize, these are the 5 revenue streams. Number 1, your subscriptions. Number 2, LinkedIn marketing. Number 3, hiring. Number 4, your learning. And number 5, sales. Okay. So now let us move on into who are the competitors and what are some of the challenges that LinkedIn is facing in this particular field. Okay. It is interesting to notice that LinkedIn is not necessarily competing with just one single player. If you take, for example, learning aspect, right? LinkedIn is competing with Udemy's, Coursera's, and a bunch of other e-learning platforms. If you compare on the other end, the hiring needs, right? It is competing with Indeed, Naukri, Monster, and a lot of other these typical job portals. The third thing, right? Social media time. It is competing with Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, so on and so forth. So the competitors for LinkedIn are pretty diverse. They are coming from all walks of life. Another important aspect is that LinkedIn is still small in each one of these individual revenue streams. For example, LinkedIn marketing revenues are up to $3 billion. And if you compare it with Google, Facebook, or any other social media platforms, marketing revenues, it is super small. Yes, of course, it is playing in a niche, targeting only professionals, but still the scope is super high for them to grow. If you look at the number of job portals, right, Indeed is posting almost 25 million jobs every single month. And LinkedIn, on the other hand, is posting up to 2 to 3 million jobs. This difference is massive. And there is also a lot of growth in each one of these areas because the platform itself is super small to start off with. So whereas the competitors are big fishes in each one of these independent areas, LinkedIn is positioned uniquely so that they can still grow in every single area. It can grow in marketing, it can grow in their hiring needs, it can still grow and engage subscribers more in the platform compared to a Facebook or a YouTube or an Instagram, right? So different things are possible. What is in it for you? Your professional profile may stay here, and a lot of people might be looking at this particular profile to evaluate your capabilities, to evaluate your emotional strengths, your analytical strengths in the coming decades. So please be super careful in how you actually build your profile. It is not going to be, hey, a 1 month, 2 month game, right? You try today, if it doesn't work, you leave it. No, this has to be a consistent effort because the growth path for LinkedIn is super clear. So folks are going to use it, and you need to have a very strong base on this particular platform. Microsoft indeed mentioned that, hey, for all its professional tools, it is looking forward to make LinkedIn profile as one single point of contact. So that is going to be huge. So please focus and also make sure that you are building your profile in the best way possible. Of course, the platform is already at a good place. So what can LinkedIn do going forward? One of the easiest use cases that I could think about is smart contracts, right? It could say to the employers that, hey, once you have 3 conversations and the 3 conversations that happen on the LinkedIn platform are successful, we'll immediately have an offer letter rolled out through a smart contract system, right? That is super powerful. LinkedIn can also say that, hey, we are opening up LinkedIn for kids, right? Probably for 10th standard, 12th standard students. It could be around academics. It could be around learning. It could be around exposure to different topics. They can completely customize these things. Number 3, of course, there is China for LinkedIn, right? In the recent past, less than 3 to 4 months back, LinkedIn has mentioned that they are moving out of China for its social networking and feed aspects of the business, and it is only going to have a specific jobs portal, right? So it would be very interesting to see how that would pan out. Moving forward, there are technology updates that are possible. For example, there is already apply with LinkedIn button, right? They could come up with more such kind of features which will make it easier for both the applicant and also for the organization, right? So a lot of these things are in the mix, and a lot of these things will make 2 things. One, life easier for the employers, organizations, and also it will increase the engagement of the user itself. So to summarize, after a few years, you might not even have a choice with respect to using versus not using your LinkedIn profile. Your employer might say that, hey, the base underlying profiles, we pulled that information from LinkedIn. So you need to have it. If you have some prior profile, it will only help folks to get a little more understanding about you, right? So please don't ignore that aspect. Number 2, there are a lot of revenue streams for LinkedIn at this point in time. Please do mention all the 5 revenue streams in the comments box, okay? And these revenue streams are still small compared to the competitors in each one of these spaces. So the road forward is only looking brighter for LinkedIn. Number 3, the technology advancements will increase the engagement for both the employers and also for the subscribers like you and me. So to conclude, I'm expecting all of you to start writing on LinkedIn, all right? And I'm looking forward to more and more interactions through LinkedIn as well with each one of you. Thank you so much, guys. If you like this video, if you want me to do a few more analysis of this particular sort, let me know and I will continue to do it forward. Thanks and take care.